So I guess we'll just kick off with the most interesting question. Why didn't you go to university?
I think actually the answer is easy in hindsight because as you get older you look back, but the truth is that I chose to leave and to pursue work, and it was a pure choice. It was part of my nature, I guess, in terms of making decisions. I'm a risk taker, and that was a risk I took and didn't even think about it. The fact is that I was going to a good school. I had 10 O levels, studying 4 A levels, and I was going to be an architect. But I also enjoyed working at that time in supermarkets. So I stopped work and stopped studying and went to work. I was tempted by a very clever man, I guess, who said, there's a good opportunity in careers in supermarketing, and I enjoyed what I was doing. I've been selling since I was 12 in fruit and veggies at the stalls. And stuff like that. So for me, it was an easy choice and absolutely no regrets, but not something I would recommend to your children, especially in Africa or actually anywhere these days.
I was just going to say, what do your parents actually think? Because typical Nigerian parents would probably slaughter you.
Well, I'm lucky in that sense that I come from a very simple family first, so there's no pressure from the family. There was no financial pressure, by the way, either to say I had to leave because nobody could afford to send me to school. No, I chose to leave. The objective of going to work overrode my interest to continue to go to a formal process of study. But the reality is, in today's world, jobs are very hard to come by. I think even back then they probably were, but as a young guy you don't think about stuff like that. The question about parents is interesting. I grew up in a very, I'd say, liberal fashion, but also with good values. We come from a farming background. My father was working on the farm. My mother worked in a factory, and at the end of the day there was no pressure from my family to do one thing or the other. It was my choice. So I was lucky in that sense, which maybe many people don't get those choices. I did. So I had the choice and I took it.
And you said you've been selling since you were 12.
Well, in the UK where I grew up, I'm Australian by the way now, and that's by choice as well. I'll tell you later. When I was a young guy growing up in the UK, we had what we called Saturday jobs or weekend jobs, where you just go and earn some pocket money. And most of the children go along and get a Saturday job just to earn a little bit here. And I was working selling fruit and vegetables from the age of 12 in a fruit and vegetable shop, and I enjoyed it. I liked the interaction with people, talking to people, communicating, and I found, if you like, I have the gift of the gab, so it was a natural progression. And I liked the model of attraction that got me in the supermarkets was very simple. It was a very historic company, but it was full of old managers. It's something which today I use in Africa as well, but back then the manager who recruited me said 50% of the managers in this company are going to retire. So that's a good opportunity. 50% of the ones that are left are useless, and that's an even better opportunity. So I said, hey, why not go and become a trainee manager? And it paid off within a very short period of time. I was running actually some of the biggest stores in the UK. By the time I was 21, 22, I was managing very big supermarkets, like a shop right here in Lekki back in the 70s. So that paid off. And my 23-year-old friends who had gone to university also did well afterwards, or whatever they did in their life. But at that age, I'd had 3 or 4 years earning money, which they hadn't done. But the money wasn't the key. No, it was just the satisfaction of getting on with the career.